Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back here with the owners of Cherry Home Designs. Excited to have them here. Christine Escribano. I know she has a few other last names, and her husband John joining her today. I'll let her introduce herself today. How are you?
Good, Jill. It's good to be back. I'm Christine Escribano, soon to be Pizzi, with my new husband sitting right next to me. I'm the owner and designer of Cherry Home Designs, and we help you live your story. And this is my husband and partner, John Pizzi.
Yep,
Beautiful.
I'm John. I'm the owner of J Unique Concepts Builders. That's partnering up with Christine. We've kind of merged our businesses, and everything is working out fine.
That is amazing, and excited to have you. I know we missed you last time, but glad we got you here today. And just so before we start our conversation, let's get our website, phone number, all forms of contact, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So you can contact us at cherryhomedesigns.com. You can follow us on social at Cherry Home Designs. You can give us a call at 347-432-8103, or just email Christine at cherryhomedesigns.com.
Perfect. And just an overview of your company for new listeners today. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so John and I have partnered up to offer clients a lot of different design opportunities. One of them is Build Your Story, which we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
Shop Your Home, where we do furniture, art, and restoration of pieces that you have in your home. We do something called Start Your Story, where we work with new homeowners who are unfamiliar with the process to walk them through that. I have Design Your Door, so where we take your front door and turn it into a work of art. So we have a lot of different ways that we work with clients on interior and exterior design, from the most basic of room layout to the most complicated of complete renovation. So we work with our clients soup to nuts.
Beautiful. I know we've had some great conversations about restoring things that are old, turning them into new, and how beautiful that can really be. All right. So what's on tap for today? Where do we begin?
So today we're going to begin with John, a little more focus on John. He is a construction expert, and we're going to talk about Build Your Story a little bit more. So I don't know if you want to walk through a little bit of your background, John.
Please, yes. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what brought you into this business, and of course, how you met your lovely wife.
So basically, I've been in the construction industry for about 37 years now. I'm a vice president of a company out in Long Island. I pretty much, as far as construction experience, Christine asked me one day, how many projects do you think you've done over your career? And I really cannot even answer how many projects I've done. It's been so many. And I basically,
like car dealerships, supermarkets. We're talking like a lot. You do a lot of commercial. Is it only commercial, or you've done both?
I've done commercial, I've done medical, I've done historical renovations. I actually built the first Silver Lead school in New York City.
Wow.
I pretty much touched every aspect of construction, every type of construction as imaginable. And I still love it to today. I still get excited at the end of a project, and I look back and I look at it and I say, you know what? I built this. We built this, and I still get excited. The minute you don't have that little pit in your stomach and you don't get excited, that's basically when I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, time to go. Well, just curious, I live on Long Island. I live out in Suffolk County. Anything I would know in particular that you could recall, projects you've worked on out here?
In Long Island, I've actually worked out all the way out in Montauk. I've done, I did pharmacies out there. I was out there for about 3 years.
Wow.
And it was a ride and a half from New Jersey.
Oh my God. I'm in Holtzville, so I'm about an hour and a half away from there, but still I'm midway on Long Island. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And the thing is that he's also a trained architect, which I thought was really interesting. So that's how he started in his career. And so he brings a lot of that experience and knowledge to the construction aspect of what we do. But, the best story he ever told me was like, being a trained architect, you're going to be in an office, you're going to be laying it out. He went on a project, right?
Yeah, the first company, actually, when I went to school for architectural design and construction, two of my professors they owned a company in New Jersey, and they asked me to go work for them right after school. And I went to work for them, sitting at a desk every day, basically. And back then we had no AutoCAD or anything like that. It was all done manually. So about a year into being there, they asked me to run a project in New York City. I don't know if anybody remembers Alesse. They used to do all the outfitting for the tennis players.
Oh, wow.
They
No,
wanted
but
to build
okay.
they wanted to build a flagship store, in New York City on Broadway. And they asked me to run it, and I ran it. And the minute that project was completed, I went back to the office and said, I'm not doing any more drafting. This is what I want to do. And that's actually how I got into project management.
Awesome. Well, congrats. And then I know you started the what is it, Unique Concept Builders, and that was in 2017, but a little hiatus. Was that because of COVID? What happened in between? And then how did you meet Christine, and where did this begin? Got to hear this story. That's the best part of the story.
We met at a pirate party in June.
I can't. It's
when-
great.
People, when we tell people, they're like, what do you mean a pirate party? Everybody has to get dressed up as a pirate. And one of our friends always has this party annually. And we decided to go at that point. I was probably, put it this way, when I met Christine, I was about 80 pounds heavier than I am now. So I had very little self-esteem.
Yeah.
And, I was at the party. I had my head down. I was taking a drink of my, a sip of my cocktail. And she came walking down the stairs. And for some reason, I happened to look up and I just locked on.
Lightning bolt.
And she literally must have felt the heat from my eyes. And she walked by me. She said, hi. And the only thing I could muster was hi. And as she walked away, I'm like, really? That's all you could say to her? And the rest of the night was spent following her around.
Oh, like a little puppy dog. That is so
Yep.
sweet. I love it. Great story. Well, I'm so glad you guys are here together. Now, the fact you combine both your expertise and your skills, and you're helping so many people. Let me also ask, now you mentioned that you're also passionate, you're a passionate woodworker, I was reading, right? Deep knowledge of home construction. And we mentioned interior, exterior design as well. And of course, together now you are like this dynamic duo, eager to help homeowners here along the way. So, just curious, were you born in New Jersey as well?
Yes, in Jersey City.
Born and raised. And Christine, where are you from originally?
Brooklyn.
I forgot. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. So, but it's great. So now your business now, you currently work with people just in the tri-state, or you also do virtual work and you're coaching, you're helping people across the world.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
beauty of the business.
exactly. I mean, and that's the benefit of technology, right, Jill? Like,
Yeah.
you can do anything from anywhere. I'm actually working with a client right now on decorating her apartment, and doing floor
Wow.
layouts and mood boards and all of that. And, it's purely virtual. So I can create, along with John, a real recommendation for how you lay it out, what you might want to add from paint colors to
Yep.
decor, and then you do the shopping. So we work with clients in different levels. Because we want to make design accessible. And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that just because you're not exactly expert at it, we can guide you through that process. And John is excellent at that. And that's where, our skill sets are really complementary, and we have really good chemistry between us. I hope you can see that and feel that. And we love, working together because we really bounce off ideas off each other, and it enhances that entire process. We actually just got hired for a kitchen renovation with another couple, and come to find out that the guy is from Jersey City or Clifton, where John lived, and then they're from the same town in Italy. So, you just get
Aw.
this, like,
Yep. Good vibes,
tremendous
good karma. Yep.
connection, and you build trust that way. And we're just really excited to work with clients, and again, whatever serves their life and their budget. Because
Great.
that's
Now let's talk about some of the pitfalls that some homeowners usually run into during the course of a home renovation. Would you mind elaborating on that a little?
Yeah, I think what I try and stress to most people is that create a budget that, that works for you. Today, especially with the internet and everything that we have that we didn't have back then, you can go online and find out, hey, this should cost me roughly X amount of dollars per square foot. And you can easily say, okay, my budget should be somewhere around this. A lot of people, I don't think, realize where the costs are right now. And they're maybe thinking it might be $100,000 renovation, and they're thinking it's a $60,000 renovation. So you can go out there and do your own, your own homework online and come up with a realistic budget and say, is this for me, or can I scale this down? I need to scale this down because it doesn't fit within my budget and what I'm able to afford. So that's number one that people should do. And those are some of the pitfalls that they fall into. And it also keeps the contractors in check as well. If a person does their homework, somebody walks into your house and said, well, it's going to be $150,000, you know, upfront right there that you're being taken. And I mean, I've had it happen to me when I owned my home. I had some people coming in and they would give me pricing and I'd sit there. They wouldn't have no idea that I was in the business. And I would literally sit there and listen to them, let them do their whole spiel. And then at the end say, really, show me a breakdown of how you arrived to your costs. And they couldn't answer me because there's no way they can come up with it. And I
Wow,
knew right
that's a
away. And I would just
shame.
tell them, listen, you're not for me. You're not going to be doing the work. And I escorted them out basically out of my house.
Ah,
know
that's a shame, but there's a lot
Yeah.
of people are dealing with that.
They
Had you find someone who's trusted, who's reputable, who's certified,
Right.
who's, because anyone could just put an ad out there and say, hey, I can do construction.
And
absolutely.
that's the thing, making sure your contractor, your GC is licensed and insured is another big pitfall that people forget to think about, because if you're moving gas lines, you need permits, for instance.
Right.
Like a lot of people during massive renovations or room renovations, or especially kitchen or bathrooms,
Correct.
you need permits for that for in your town. So a lot of people forget about that aspect of it and to ask those types of questions.
Guilty. I'm dealing with that now, trying to get a pool and a variance and a permit and all this. First time as a homeowner, like learning about all this stuff and the process and how it takes, and it's so tedious. And I'm like, I never knew. Like, for example, I'll be honest, I have it's like, at Lowe's or Home Depot, you go in during the summer, it's like $2,000, it's like a aluminum like pergola. Well, I got it, put it in my yard. Oh, do you know that's a permanent structure? You need a permit for that, I was told. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's been in my yard. I'm like, I didn't know that. Like, but these are things that don't come with there's no guidebook to like the first time homeowners books.
And every
Right.
town is different, believe it or
Every
not.
town is
Every
exactly.
town has a different set of rules, which
Mhm.
is mind-boggling to me that they can't come up with a statewide code. There is a statewide code, but each
But then
town
each town has their own.
interprets it their own way.
Yeah, like
Got it.
setbacks, impervious coverage.
Right.
There are
Mhm.
things you have to consider when you're adding anything to your interior or exterior. So yeah, it is a pitfall for sure, Jill.
Wow. Wow. All right. Let's talk a little bit about maybe some of the most challenging aspects of working with home renovations, if you don't mind.
The biggest thing that I could say, listen, nobody's Superman, nobody has X-ray vision, nobody can see within walls and in floors. The unforeseen conditions that occur on a project will always occur. There might be a pipe that nobody expected. There's asbestos behind a wall that once you open up a wall, you find asbestos. Now you're dealing with a major issue there. So the unforeseen part of the project is probably the biggest
X factor.
X factor on any project. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And,
you gotta make sure that you leave at least a 10 to 20%, contingency on any renovation.
Yeah.
That you're opening walls. If
Yeah.
it's kind of design and a surface issue, you can really see what's happening.
Right.
But what's happening behind the walls, to John's
Right.
point, is an X factor, and we don't know until we open those walls. So you gotta be prepared with your budget.
And the next item I would say would be communication with your client. That is very critical. It is challenging because, and a lot of contractors speak to the people as if they understand construction. A lot of people don't
They
understand.
don't. It has to really be broken down.
Right.
I want it in writing, like in words,
Right.
in text or email, because I don't understand that concept. And thank God I had a friend who redid my basement, and he did that for me and he explained it, but he was a friend. If I
Yeah.
didn't have a friend, I would have been so confused because the amount of
Right.
questions that
Yeah.
came up and problems, and I'm like, I ripping up carpets, everything. I had no idea that it's so
Right.
important. Communication is key. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that-
transparency. I think a
Correct.
lot of what people find are, contractors aren't really transparent or upfront about all the potential pitfalls. Like we really have, very honest conversations with our clients about what, you're in an old home, for instance. We don't know
Mhm.
if there's knob and tube in the walls, right? We don't know if electric is going to be an issue.
I'm sorry. I don't even know that term. Nubbin to what?
Knob and tube was
I don't know what that is. See?
wiring when homes were built back. probably
Okay,
in the
okay.
1900s, let's say. It's actually almost like a cloth shield around the wire. So that cloth
gosh.
dries up over time.
On
becomes
fire?
cloth, and it has to
Assuming.
be removed back to the panel.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
You know,
see, you
it's
just
a
taught me
fire hazard.
something new,
Yeah.
right? There's the communication, because homeowner, what? What does that mean? Okay.
And going to Christine's point about choosing the right GC, if a GC can't walk into your home and physically lay out, it's good to give somebody a lump sum price and say, this is what it's going to cost. give them a breakdown, show
Mhm.
them what each individual trade is going to cost them,
Yeah.
and review that with them. I think when you do that, you're basically opening up your books. When we go to clients, it's exactly what we do. There's a spreadsheet, and it basically itemizes every cost, and they can physically look at it and say, okay, he's got this included, and also list what's not included in the project. Because a lot of people don't do that, and then at the end they could turn, well, that wasn't included. And how would you know that if they don't give you a list of what's not included and what is included in the project?
Very important.
Now, contractors will do that. The other thing is payments. Contractors normally will ask for an upfront deposit, let's say to start a project. That's natural. It happens in the business. Once you go beyond the first deposit, though, if you have that breakdown, if a homeowner has it in his hands and we hand it off to them, so they have it, they can basically look at it. So when the guy comes back and says, well, now you have to give me another 50%. Well, if that amount of money that you're giving them is more than the work that's been performed,
Don't do it.
don't do it. Because ultimately, how many times have everybody heard the story that, somebody walks in, say, all right, give me another 50%, and then they walk off the job and disappear, and you never see them again.
I hear that all the time.
It's out there. And I think the more information you give the client, you make them feel at ease and say, okay, I know he's got everything in and he's not overcharging me for the work he's completed to date. And I think homeowners really have to stress.
And just curious, is there like a legal type of bounding contract? Could you get a contract between a homeowner and a contractor, like sign so God forbid someone walks away? Is that a smart thing to do to make sure or it doesn't matter because you can still walk away?
They still walk
you can
away.
still walk
They still
away.
walk away.
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories that people left with their home basically in shambles and the guy disappears and never to be heard from again. Once they have your money, they just walk away. I mean, they're out there.
And then finding someone to now complete the work
Come back, it's going to cost you
is
actually
even
more
more complicated. See, we provide the breakdown, we provide a contract, we invite clients to our home if they're interested in coming to our home. They know
where you live. We know where you live. No, but true, but that makes them feel comfortable. You're here. You're not running from them. I got goosebumps. That's like a really kind, sweet thing wow, that's good.
That's where we closed the kitchen project was here.
Over a glass of wine.
Over a glass of wine.
Wait, and you guys probably at your house, I don't know how it works, but I don't know if I was in your business, I'd be like wanting to change everything all the time. You probably have like the nicest of everything, or is that not true? Because you don't have, they always say like the man who, the shoemaker doesn't have shoes for his kids. Like, how does it work?
No, it's funny because we've been together, Jill, throughout the pandemic. We renovated our attic, a bathroom, a bedroom, the entire exterior of our home. We added a front porch, a whole backyard oasis. And we're always tweaking and adding to it. We built a closet, we did custom closets in our bedroom, so we've done little improvements over and over. Now we're starting to the stuff that was already done. We're going to start over and start doing
Got it.
that.
And the redo process.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Of course you are. All right. What about bringing together design and construction? Would you say what makes that really more, valuable for your clients to bring both aspects together?
Well, I mean, I'd love to start.
You can answer,
and
then I have.
You finish.
Yep.
I feel that as a designer, I have a certain point of view, a certain knowledge base, and I could certainly on surface designs work with a client soup to nuts, no problem. But once you go to the renovation aspect and you want to move walls, you want to, move things around, you want to replace, you want to create a different flow, that construction part of it, I can go hire a GC and work with that person. But working with John creates a sense of accountability and fluidity. So we're always on top of the project, right?
Yeah.
I know as I'm shopping with my client when things are due, and I'm able to communicate to him, here's when, this stuff can kind of arrive. Does that track with its production timeline? So having the connectivity between us both, plus his architectural background, makes this a perfect combination because I bring the sort of design elements and a little bit of construction knowledge. John brings extraordinary construction knowledge, but a little bit of design sensibility.
Yeah.
So we balance each other as a yin and yang from a design and construction standpoint. And I think that really, to me, makes it a seamless and turnkey process for clients where we're their advocates and we're consistently on top of everything that's happening.
I agree with Christine. She brings a dynamic to my business construction wise, that actually makes me and helps me envision a project as we're constructing it. So it's like this kitchen project we're now going to be doing. I'll envision the project based on her mood boards and build that project the way it needs to be built to accept her design and make her design shine at the end. I mean, ultimately, we collaborate pretty much on everything.
Yeah.
It could be from picking out tile, whatever. We're always collaborating. And I think that's the dynamic that gives us, that's able for us to give people a dream project that they wanted.
And I would say that pure accountability, right? Like he's not running away because I live with them. So, you know, I know what he's doing.
I know. And being that I actually do the drawings for our projects, most of the projects, unless they're going to be bigger projects further down the line, I do the drawings. So when I'm designing it, Christine will come by and look at it and say, you know, babe, why don't we move this column over to here in lieu of having it where you have it now, and because it might work better visually. And I'll look at it, and I won't be the type of guy to say, no, I'm an architect, I think I know what I'm doing. I take her advice and we do it together and we make those changes. So prior to starting any work, we have the right project and everything that's necessary to make that a turnkey.
It limits
project.
the adjustments along the way.
Along the way. You don't want to be doing while you're performing the work.
That's right.
Get it done pre-design, as I call it.
Got it. Good to know. And by the way, let's remind everyone who we're talking to, your website, how we can reach you.
Yeah, hi, this is Christine and John, Cherry Home Designs and Unique Concept Builders. You can reach us at cherryhomedesigns.com that's Cherry Home Designs with an S. Christine at cherryhomedesigns.com, or you can call us at 347-432-8103.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Also, let's go back to the notes, which have disappeared off of my computer. Where were we next? I'm sorry, there was a few more questions left on the list, but I lost my little wireless. What else go ahead, talk about anything you want to share.
In the furniture business, furniture restoration business.
Sure.
My part is very simple, and I basically will do all the prepping, all the woodworking, any repairs that need to be done to the furniture. And Christine has me as quality control manager. So she'll actually, after she's done painting or designing something, I'll review it, I'll look it over, I'll notice if there's anything that needs to be any imperfections, and it gets taken care of. And you know what's great about it is that Christine still involves me, because any ideas she has, she bounces them off of me, and she says, well, what do you think? You think this is going to work? And she knows I'll be honest with her. I'm not a yes man. I won't just say yes because I'm married to Christine. I'm honest.
Although I'd like that, but
and it works. And I think we balance each other out on that too. I mean, Christine is more of a maximalist.
Yes.
I am more of I would say a minimalist.
Simplicity. Like simplicity.
Okay. She's a simpleton.
No, that one didn't come out right.
I'm trying to look for the word here. Yeah.
But I think we balance each other in both aspects. Her in my business and me being, functioning in her business.
I think the trust between us really matters and makes sense, because we do trust each other's point of view. We may disagree, but at some point, one of us is going to take the risk. And, I'm right probably 99% of the time.
Love it. Like, really? Yeah.
It's not about being right. It's about doing it right. And the thing that John helps me do is edit myself sometimes when I'm just about to step over the line of maximalist for a client that may not be that.
I'll pull her back a little bit. And then she realizes, like, you know what, that probably would. It's not all the time, but it happens, And
again, like when we're doing the china cabinet and there's a piece, of the lattice that's broken, of the molding, like he'll help me fix it and come up. Sometimes it's a design solution and sometimes it's a woodworking solution. So that's where we also balance each other, is that, our skill sets are
the perfect duo.
Yeah.
And what should people really consider though before renovating their homes? So, clearly it could take longer than expected. I've heard that one before. What do you want to share with them about that? The things to consider, obviously, time, money, what else?
Time, money,
purpose, how you want, like what you want it to feel like at the end.
And if you have a set budget, do the things that will give you the most return on your investment in your home. Don't worry about the smaller stuff. Focus on those items as well, because inevitably it's about making, when you go around and turn around and sell your home, it's about making that money back.
Yeah.
Plus, and people sometimes look at, well, I want a closet here. Well, you'd be better suited if you redid your bathroom. That'll bring you a lot more return on your investment.
Interesting. That's good. You're right. All right. And go ahead.
Yeah, because, honestly, like when we're working with people and they want to do something that's purely, again, they could be purely for function of your house, for your life.
Mm-hmm.
But I always ask clients, like, when do you plan to sell? Is this your forever home? Is this your home for now?
Mhm.
Because that is a consideration when you're making a large investment in a home renovation. To John's point, the return on value for that investment. So what are we going to do? Are we really going to spend, $10,000 extra on a particular cabinet, or can we get it a little bit less because it's really in the end still a quality product? So we really try to help clients navigate those waters to really think about, okay, how I maximize my investment, maximize the purpose that I want to do this renovation for, so that it works for my family, but that also will be attractive to other buyers if you're going to be in market selling your house in 5 years.
Interesting. And by the way, how are things in the market right now? In the building world and the return investment world, and what's happening? Are things still? Are they starting to come down, or what's?
No, as far as materials, I mean,
materials still going up. Okay.
It's insanely expensive. I mean, things shot up 30-40%.
Wow.
Just keep going up.
Like lumber, right?
Well, lumber has started coming down just recently, which is good, which is a good thing. I think, it's.
I mean, the mortgage rates are up.
The mortgage rates are up, so nobody's going to buy a home or sell their home at this point. So they're deciding, I think what people are saying, you know what, I'm comfortable in my house. My children will be out of the house probably in 3 years. They'll be empty nesters. Let's just put the money into this home and stay here. And I think that's what people are deciding to do now.
And what I would say is it's not a bad time to buy because the prices are coming down, even though mortgage rates are going up. For first-time home buyers, it's actually a good time to buy because they're not, like, we were in a market where it was a seller's market. There was so much competition driving the prices up. The great thing about what's happening right now is that prices are coming down, even though the mortgage rates are up. If you buy now, you can refi, in a year and then get a lower mortgage rate. You get a house for a lower price. Yeah. Even though you bought it at a higher price, it's temporary because as soon as you have that house for a year, you can refi and get it for a lower rate.
Love it. Well, thank you guys for all your insight and your hard work and teamwork today. We're out of time. Got to remind everyone how we can reach out to you, please, again. But I really love getting to see you guys together. So cool, right? It's kind of like what's so meant to be. How do we reach you?
Yeah, so you can reach us check out our work at cherryhomedesigns.com. You can reach us at Christine at cherryhomedesigns.com or via phone at 347-432-8103.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys again. Really pleasure seeing you both here today. Thank you for taking the time and looking forward to the next time we get to speak. Okay.
Sounds great, Jill.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.